Good morning. Welcome to Imagine Your Life with Jenny Lynn. I am Jenny Lynn, and this is Imagine Your Life. Saturday morning, 6 a.m. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so grateful that you're here with me. And today we're going to be discussing not only how to imagine your life, but how to really create a life where you feel happy, joyful, and dreams come true, and you're motivated and you want things to happen. And when the brain is depleted of essential nutrients, it's really hard to manufacture that level of sustained happiness. It doesn't happen. So today we're going to be discussing how to just continue the dialogue on amino acids and amino acid therapy, and how adding amino acids, even targeted amino acids, or buy an amino acid supplement that combines all of the above of what your body needs and nutrition. When we feed our body what we need, our body will give us what we want. So today we're going to be discussing tyrosine, 5-HTP, tryptophan, and DLPA. Now, in my last series, last week, we talked about GABA. Before that, we talked about glutamine. These are all essential amino acids. You have 20 amino acids in our body. And then there's multiple levels and compounds, and they mix and they do amazing things in our body. And we get our amino acids from food and nutrition. And if your mother ate a perfect diet, and her mother ate a perfect diet, and her mother ate a perfect diet, then you could expect to have been born with a perfectly balanced brain with the essential amino acids and everything that you needed. But considering that that doesn't, I don't know if it really exists. We get pretty close to it. But in this day and age, after you've had compounding of generations that have been nutritionally depleted, we don't always born with everything that we need. So then when we're born, our amino acid levels are down here, and you just kind of feel like your brain is a little bit behind. We have exponentially kids being born with ADD, ADHD, autism, these behaviors statistically that haven't been around, and now here they are. Why is that? Well, we have kids. When we have kids, when you have a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, and they're depressed, that's not normal. So how do we combat that? Well, with amino acids and really looking at targeted amino acid therapy, supplementing brain with your brain, and then we can bring those levels up to level where we want to be, to balance. And then the good news is that because amino acids are in our food, as long as you're eating nutritionally, then you can sustain that level, because our body produces amino acids when it's given the correct building blocks. It's a fascinating topic. And today we're just going to be hitting the surface of these, just these last four, and how they combine and work together. I'm not going to be getting into the science of it. I'm not a scientist. I am a nurse, I'm a hypnotherapist, and I want you to live a better life and be happy. And here is how you do it. So, tyrosine, we're going to talk about that first. Tyrosine is that it's actually called a catecholamine. That's just a classification of the amino acids. And it helps with focus, mood, energy, motivation, drive. It gives you like this. I tell people, don't reach for your energy drink. That's going to give you a high and then a low. Reach for your tyrosine supplement because that's what's in the energy drink. And let's just get the pure thing and help sustain. And when you take these supplements and then you take it over time, you really sustain the level. Now, here's a story about tyrosine. I have a client. Now, I work with drug addicts that are very depleted nutritionally. And one gentleman, he he's been a drug addict for a long time. He's had a really hard life. And now here he is, like 28, 29 years old, and he's just searching for something. And his brain was just always so active. We call him Squirrel. He called himself Squirrel because so many squirrel moments to get him to focus. Well, in just a couple of months, in fact, within days, starting him on tyrosine, his personality almost like he could focus. He could sit down and finish a project. He went from 4 energy drinks a day to 1 occasionally. Transformed this young man's life. So now he can have a life. And that was just with tyrosine, not with the whole combination of the others. So it's really exciting when we start looking at life changes, that it changes and you can think and you can be motivated and you can accomplish things and be happy. So tyrosine, energy, focus, lift you up during the day. Now let's talk about dopamine. Dopamine, DLPA. There's also DL. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that. And I can't even pronounce the whole long chemical name for the DLPA. But DLPA is a dopamine. It helps increase and cause that release of dopamine in our brain, which is what every human is after. That feel good chemical, that dopamine hit is what they call it. You take some sugar, you get a download. Some people, I mean, that's why they smoke. They smoke because they want the dopamine hit. When they light up a cigarette, their brain goes, ah, and gets excited, and we have this happy moment and we get a release of dopamine. There's lots of other ways to get dopamine than cigarettes. In fact, that's a trained response. And we can change those habits, those bad habits, those drug addictions, those reasons. That's why people do cocaine and meth and heroin, and they're looking to feel good. And we can get that dopamine hit just by our food and nutrition. And then we get a dopamine hit from our brain when we have a hug, when we're with community, when we're loving, and hugging. Even if you just hug yourself, you can create a dopamine release from your brain, which is that feel-good chemical. Makes you happy and you feel better, releases endorphins. So DLPA, I'm talking, these are brain supplements. These amino acids work on your brain, your mood swings, so you can be happy. Now, next I want to talk about tryptophan. Tryptophan is an amino acid that is it's plant-based. It's found in lots of foods. In fact, it's found in our plants, our foods. But number 1, tryptophan, they call it the turkey pill, because it is high doses of tryptophan are in turkey and the turkey meat, and it causes you to get sleepy. So I'm going to transition into sleep. Tryptophan helps our body to relax. It creates calmness. It's called positive sleep because it does help us create positive sleep. Tryptophan also helps combine with serotonin, and it creates serotonin. What is serotonin? So serotonin is a chemical that carries messages between our neurotransmitters. When we don't have enough serotonin and our messages can't transfer very well from our brain to our body, into our mind, into our emotions and emotion centers, the effects of that are depression, weight gain, sadness, and sometimes deep, deep depression. Antidepressants, such as Effexor, Seroquel, Trazodone, there's so many, Prozac. We have quite a few now. They all work to increase the levels of serotonin in a chemical way. Well, if you can increase the levels of serotonin in your brain in a very healthy, natural way, and you do that through a combination of taking tryptophan and 5-HTP, and you can combine melatonin when needed. I'm not going to discuss melatonin very much today, but melatonin is a hormone. It's readily available. It helps with sleep, and it's very inexpensive. And they build on each other. And so the tryptophan is building and requires 5-HTP and an element of melatonin. So if you don't have enough of melatonin, you're not sleeping really deeply, add melatonin into your sleep regimen. Melatonin helps, especially at that initial stage, to calm the mind and then sleep. So if you're dealing with insomnia and difficulties just getting to sleep, the melatonin will help calm that and decrease that. And it doesn't take very much. You can start with 1 milligram. You can go to Walmart and buy 1 milligram tablets, 3 milligrams, 5 milligrams, 10 milligrams. So there's lots of different uses, things that melatonin help with. Melatonin has been used in studies for prostate cancer in high doses, and they're finding that melatonin is activated when the lights go out, when the sun goes down, when you sleep and our brain is preparing for sleep. That's where melatonin helps with. So 5-HTP, the tryptophan, and when you add tryptophan, it's going to help these build 5-HTP, tryptophan, melatonin are all required as building blocks to create, so your body can create serotonin. And when you have adequate serotonin in your body, you sleep better. When you sleep better, you live better when you're awake. The human body, the best amount of sleep, 7 to 8 hours for an adult for sleep, is what they have found is the optimal sleep time for adults. Some people can live on 6 hours a night. I'm a registered nurse. I've worked lots of graveyards and swing shifts, and I've raised 6 children in the middle of my career. Sometimes I did not get 8 hours of sleep. You compound that over time. And now I deal with MS. Is MS because I work so many night shifts? there is a correlation and a study that said that shows that a high percentage of MS people diagnosed with MS or multiple sclerosis have had a habit or career in working graveyards and night shifts. So there's a correlation there. So interesting. The good news is now I know. Now I'm sleeping better. And the amino acid therapy has been a very big part in me taking back control of my own nervous system. And I only get better and improve. Why is that? Amino acids, nutrition, and giving my body and my brain what it needs so my brain can give me what I need. Now, that was a side note and a tangent. But I want to get to what 5-HTP. I touched on tryptophan and then 5-HTP. Now, 5-HTP is referred to as positive mind. And it is, I'm looking at my notes because I want to tell you right. 5-HTP is a metabolite amino acid between tryptophan and serotonin. So for tryptophan to be transferred and to be able to convert into serotonin, it requires an element of 5-HTP. And where do we get 5-HTP? From our food, from our nutrients. Some foods have more, some have less, but we need nutrients. 5-HTP. 5-HTP brings relaxation, calmness, optimism, feelings of hopefulness, builds muscles, binds proteins. Bodybuilders love 5-HTP because it helps to bind muscles and proteins and to build strength. So any weight loss, any weight gain, muscle building supplement is going to have 5-HTP in it. Now, 5-HTP helps with sleep, weight loss, depression, but it's because it combines with these elements, with the tryptophan and melatonin, 5-HTP, those all combine to create serotonin. And serotonin helps with and is required for our nerve cells, like I mentioned, in communication, right? But it helps with sleep regulation, sexual function, happiness, immune function. So many things in our lives, and everything is interconnected. And serotonin makes a difference in our happiness level, and it all works together. And then we increase with our DLPA, which helps with the dopamine. And those are supplements you're going to take during the day. You can buy these supplements at Walmart. You can buy them on Amazon. They're readily available. If you're not sure which ones, contact me. My website, just send me an email at imagineyourlife88@gmail.com. So imagineyourlife88@gmail.com. And that's because I graduated in 1988, and amazing, the best year ever. So awesome. So love 1988. imagineyourlife88@gmail.com. Shoot me an email. I'd love to hear from you. And we can further discuss amino acid therapy, help you find somebody in your area that can help you with this, or reach out to me. Now technology, I work with clients all over the country. hopefully, and soon to be all over the world. Why not? So, welcome. I'm just so grateful that you're here to transform your life. Feed your brain, feed your mind, and know that you deserve to live a life that you've always wanted, which is a life happy. And it doesn't take a lot. Simpler, the better. I will tell you, with some of my clients, they just want stability. That's it. To be happy. And when we have the building products and we have what we need in our minds and working and nutrition and we have hope and we're happy, then we can live the life that we've always wanted and imagined. It's possible. I would love to help you along your journey. As a recap, today I just talked about tyrosine, focus, energy, help you feel better, have greater energy and sustained energy during the day. It'll also help you with your golf game because focus. 2, we talked about DLPA, which helps with that dopamine release and helps you feel happy. 3, 5-HTP and how it combines with tryptophan, and they combine together for sleep. Tyrosine, 5-HTP, tryptophan, DLPA. Those are the 4 I covered today. When you combine that with GABA and glutamine and nutrition, you can live the life that you've always imagined. So imagine your life. Dream big. Dream big. I'm going to end the show the way that I end every show. Every night as you go to sleep, as your fingers touch the mattress and you prepare for sleep, repeat in your mind the phrase, every day in every way, I get better and better, repeated 10 times, 1 for each finger, as your fingers touch the mattress and you prepare for sleep. Every day in every way, I get better and better. Why does this work? Because the brain is going to focus on those last thoughts as you fall asleep, is what it thinks about all night long. And if you go to sleep and you're thinking about the really bad day that you just had, all that information gets filed into a file called How to Have a Bad Day. And now, compound that over time, and that equals a really crappy life. But you take the very same bad day, and now you go to sleep and you think, every day in every way, I get better and better. And your brain now has a problem to solve, which is what our brains love to do. So now all night long, your subconscious is working for you instead of against you. And the next morning you wake up and you're just a little bit better. But compound that over time, and that equals many good days, many good weeks, months, years, and an amazing life. What is it that you can do today that you're 20 years from now, you'll be grateful that you did it today? So welcome to Imagine Your Life with Jenny Lynn, and welcome to the first day of the rest of your life.